Well, alright fans, welcome back to the second half of tonight's RWL Rage in Nashville, Tennessee. Don Hickson, Christy Ogilvie, and Myron Schimmelman here with you for the second half. We've got two more TV Tag Team Tournament matchups and two outstanding ladies matches. You're definitely not going to want to miss a lot of action coming up in the next hour.
You're absolutely right, Don. And boy, I'm telling you, the ladies matches, we got Rockin' Robin facing Luna Vachon, and we got Rhonda Singh facing Timeless Toni Storm. And that's one I'm not going to want to miss.
And we'll get to those tag team tournament matches briefly within the next hour, but right now, ladies division competition with Luna Vachon accompanied by ODB set to face Rockin' Robin accompanied by Jake the Snake Roberts.
Welcome back, fans. Our second half opening match, one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Approaching the ring, accompanied by ODB, from the other side of darkness, Luna Vachon.
These two, the bottom fell out at Snarl the other night when Luna and ODB rolled up with Playboy Gary Hart. I clean forgot all about him. Didn't see him coming back. But Hart returns to our WL, already managing a ladies tag team. Just mind blown, you guys.
Like the Spanish Inquisition, nobody was expecting Playboy Gary Hart. But sure enough, he's back and he's already got Luna and ODB under his wing. We'll have to see how things go. But this singles match now with Rockin' Robin, well, these two know each other. They've tussled in the past. So this is going to be an interesting ladies legends matchup.
Her opponent accompanied by Jake the Snake Roberts from Charlotte, North Carolina, Robin.
It has been a good 3 months since Rockin' Robin's last appearance against Tamina Snuka. And now she's on her way down here to face Luna Vachon, and as you point out, they have clashed in the past, and they are certainly not fond of one another. It's probably a good thing that Jake the Snake Roberts will be standing by at ringside, because Luna Vachon will certainly have ODB in her corner.
It kind of makes you wonder where Gary Hart is now. Why isn't he here?
That was an interesting question that did indeed cross my mind too, Myron. But apparently, Playboy Gary Hart electing to allow ODB standing at ringside instead of himself.
He's probably maintaining a low profile, knowing how well loved and how well received he is.
Your sarcasm shining through again, Myron Schimmelman. Rockin' Robin looking primed and looking in great shape after 3 months away. And she is primed for this matchup with Luna Vachon. And so it seems we are in line for a solid ladies legends matchup here. Luna Vachon and Rockin' Robin. This should be a great one. Referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. They come center ring. Luna Vachon locked up by Robin. A shoulder tackle takes Vachon to the mat. A rebound off the ropes. A running splash by Rockin' Robin as Jake the Snake Roberts looks on. There's a kick to the side to Luna Vachon. And Rockin' Robin starting off very impressive in the early goings here. Slaps on a heel hook stretch right in front of Jake. Luna Vachon in some serious trouble here as we get going. Vachon flipped over by Robin, flipped over again, and right back into the heel hook stretch. I thought she might want to do something different, but I guess not. Luna Vachon being tortured here in the lower extremities by Rockin' Robin. Stretching the knees, the ligaments, the whole thing. Luna Vachon not looking too good at the present time. Rockin' Robin up on the top turnbuckle. Here we go, flying crossbody splash off the top rope to Luna Vachon. Luna slowly making her way back to a standing position. Robin off the ropes, a kick to the side of the head by Rockin' Robin. A slap across the face. Luna Vachon stunned. An arm drag, followed up with a stomp to the head by Rockin' Robin. And Robin winds it up and misses with the low drop kick. Luna Vachon rolling out of the way just in time. Vachon Off the middle rope, a kick to the side of the head in retaliation to Rockin' Robin. Luna Vachon trying to battle back here. A forearm takes Robin down to the canvas as ODB looks on. A set of hard rights, a knee, another right, another kick, a double shot to the midsection to Rob. She is taking a pounding here. Rockin' Robin catches the Russian leg sweep from Luna Vachon. And Luna, definite Looney Luna, absolutely. She lives up to that name for sure. Luna Vachon, countered by Robin, and an enziguri takes Rockin' Robin out to the floor. Referee Walt Rothburn initiating the count. Luna Vachon gonna follow her on out. Starts the count all over again. And a wrist clutch clothesline on the outside from Luna. A stomp to the midsection. Jake the Snake Roberts looking on. A set of short staccato kicks to the head from Luna Vachon. Luna with a set of wrist clutch kicks. As the referee continues to count, Luna Vachon deciding she's going to take her time and go to work on the arms now. Having done enough damage to Robin's legs, now she's working on the upper extremities. Jake the Snake Roberts with a definite look of concern on his face. Rockin' Robin gathered up by Luna Vachon. A counter whip by Robin sends Luna crashing to the floor. Robin back in the ring, doing a little bit of showboating here. Luna Vachon seeming a bit tentative about wanting to get back in there with her. Robin with a beautiful arm drag, a whirling arm drag. Robin pitches right into the barricade. And now into an arm bar stretch. A lot of this match being contested on the outside with the referee continuing to count. Rockin' Robin gathers up Luna Vachon, gets her back in the ring finally. Rolls in herself. Tries to go for a rebound off the ropes, but Luna catches her, delivers a shot to the back, whips her to the ropes, ducks up. Whoa! Did you see that? She just wound up on the apron. And a bad mistake, too. Luna Vachon unloading with beat to the bow ground, 10 punches to the chest of Rockin' Robin. With ODB looking on, and Rockin' Robin has collapsed to the outside. And again, Rockin' Robin makes her way back into the ring. Vachon goes behind on her. Robin counters with elbows to the midsection of Luna Vachon. A rebound off the ropes, another flying punch to Luna. Takes her down to the mat. Robin covers and hooks the leg here. 1, 2, but no. Luna Vachon powering out, getting the left shoulder up. Vachon rounded up by Rockin' Robin again. Robin with another shoulder tackle, dropping Luna Vachon towards center. Another rebound off the ropes. A second, and another running crossbody splash to Luna Vachon. A kick right to the hip. A stomp to the leg. Rockin' Robin firing on all cylinders at the present time. Luna Vachon losing control of this match real quick. A whip to the ropes. A duck under from Robin. Here comes Vachon. Luna counters with a shot to the midsection. Sets it up, inverted Russian leg sweep, slamming Robin's face into the canvas. 1, 2, and again, no, another near fall as Rockin' Robin powers out. Luna Vachon now stalking Rockin' Robin, perhaps sensing the end might be near. Goes behind on her, has her up, inverted fireman's carry, a knee to the head, a GTS. And here's a quick cover and a hook of the leg right in front of Jake. 1, 2, 3. This one is all over. Luna Vachon picking up the win over Rockin' Robin by pinfall.
Here's the time, 5 minutes and 26 seconds, and your winner, Luna Vachon.
Well, we've certainly got no alibi for this one. Rockin' Robin was firmly in control for most of this match, and yet somehow Luna Vachon winds up getting the Duke with a 3-count pinfall over her former rival, Rockin' Robin. And ODB and Luna Vachon celebrating this win. And no doubt Playboy Gary Hart is exceptionally pleased with the results.
I'm pretty sure he is, wherever he might be. I'm sure we'll see him again at Holiday Road. But what a win for Luna. That GTS put Rockin' Robin out.
Indeed it did. We'll be right back as we continue the TV Tag Tournament. And now, fans, the TV Tag Team Tournament continues. This time, Tibor Bolescu, the Hungarian Hurricane, the Snarl Television Champion, the Greek Hustler, Ari Alexandros, set to face Killer and Psycho, the Texas Hangman.
The following tag team tournament match, scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, at a combined weight of 440 pounds, from Budapest, Hungary, Tibor Bolescu, and from Parnassus, Greece, Ari Alexandros, Team Euro.
Having defeated the two Kings, Harley Race and Jerry Lawler in the qualifier and the Dudley Boys in their survival match, now they have definitely plateaued as they go up against the Texas Hangman, and MJ Ferrantino is determined to see those two make it to the end of this tournament.
Something tells me that's not going to be quite as easy as they thought.
Their opponents from the Lone Star State, at a combined weight of 634 pounds, representing the Ferrantino group, Killer, and Psycho, the Texas Hangman.
And these two, you gotta make the case that Team Euro is in a tough situation with Killer and Psycho. They've already taken out Tito Santana and Rick Martel, and then Greg Valentine and Larry Zbyszko. That says to me, Ferrantino's two big bad Texans come into this one with a hellified amount of momentum. It's a pity one of these teams is getting their ticket punched, and I don't want to write off Bolescu and Alexandros, but this is their toughest tournament match yet, and they're gonna have to fight to survive.
And they will. They'll fight. Will they survive? That's a whole nother question.
Team Euro has certainly faced some challenges up to this point, but you Star Trek fans, you'll be familiar with the Kobayashi Maru scenario, and Team Euro has definitely hit it right here. Well, as per the Hangman rule, as Tex Lynch calls it, it will be Killer starting off against the Greek Hustler Ari Alexandros. Referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. They come center ring. They lock it up, collar and elbow. Alexandros whip to the Hangman's corner. There's a clothesline from Killer, an elbow to the side of the head. Alexandros rolled out towards center ring. Killer rounds him up again. Right back into the Hangman's corner. Here comes Psycho on the tag, and here we go. Alexandros about to catch a double team. Oh, man, 3D. A Dudley death drop from the Texas Hangman on Ari Alexandros, a solid tandem move. Psycho rounds him up and right back into the corner again. Alexandros turned around, the Greek Hustler having his arm yanked from the wrong side. Down he goes, there's a stomp to the chest. Psycho putting the boots to the Greek Hustler. Comes off the ropes and a face wash. Ari Alexandros rolls out towards center. Psycho gathers him up again. Right back into the corner, and here comes Killer. Another double team incoming for the Greek Hustler. Whip to the ropes. Oh! The Texas Hangman certainly well versed in tandem moves, as Killer starts delivering knees to the leg of Ari Alexandros. Ari in big trouble, might want to consider tagging out at this point, considering the Texas Hangmen have tagged out in and out several times already. I don't believe it. Ari Alexandros can't seem to escape the Hangman's corner. There's a kick, there's another tag, and another double team for the Greek Hustler. Another 3D, I don't believe it. Here's a quick cover, and here's the ref. Whoa, just a womp. Psycho rallying the fans, but Tibor Bolescu just came in, catches a set of rights. Bolescu counters the Hungarian Hurricane. Round, whoa, the power of Tibor Bolescu. Hanging up, Psycho off the top rope. Bolescu with a set of shots to the body and a Russian leg sweep to Psycho. Off the rope, a beautifully executed moonsault from Tibor Bolescu. Bolescu whips Psycho towards the far right corner, moves his way in.
Rounds up Psycho for a scoop slam. Takes himself to the middle rope, but too late. Here comes Killer. Drives a knee into the head of Tibor Bolescu. Hard forearm takes Bolescu down to the canvas. Tibor Bolescu about to catch some surfboard stomps to the back at the hands of Killer. And into a blatant choke. Well, the Texas Hangman, never known to be polite. Tibor Bolescu catching it again. Quickly countering though, delivers a set of kicks to the legs and a knee right to the chin of Killer. Killer taken down by Bolescu, mounted bully punches. Tibor Bolescu catches a kick to the head. Psycho, Killer with a stomp to the leg of Tibor Bolescu, rebounds off the ropes, moonsault, finds the mark center ring. The Hungarian Hurricane catches a right to the head. Bolescu whip to the ropes. Killer ducks under and delivers a hard body shot to the midsection. A clothesline that sends Bolescu spinning. Killer turning his attention to Ari Alexandros. Alexandros quickly counters him. A knee driven right into the arm of Bolescu. Bolescu rounded up for a powerbomb, flipped over and a knee right to the face. And right back into the choke, the Texas Hangman, of course representing the Ferentino group, performing very well, much to the satisfaction of MJ Ferentino himself. Bolescu drives a knee into the head of Psycho, covers, 1, 2, but only 2. You can expect several near falls in these tournament matches. Psycho makes his way to a standing position in the far right corner, Bolescu right there to greet him with a couple of kicks. The leg draped over the rope and a kick right to the calf. Bolescu catches a kick to the gut. There's a kick and a stunner. Bolescu quickly tagging in Ari Alexandros. He charges, chop block. Takes down Killer. Here's a pin. 1, 2, but nope. Alexandros going right to work. Look at this beautiful headstand headlock. Tibor Bolescu looking on as Ari Alexandros, the junior partner in Team Euro, goes to work here on the Texas Hangman. Alexandros whips him to his team's corner. Starts playing tug of war with his arm. Countered. The spinning back fist does not find the mark. Alexandros with a cravat suplex. Going back to his corner and turning it over to the Hungarian Hurricane, Tibor Bolescu. Bolescu, the Snarl television champion, moves in. There's a stomp right to the face. And now a set of hard driving knees into the skull. Psycho struggling to get back to a standing position, but to no avail. Bolescu tags him with another shot, turns it back over to Ari Alexandros. Psycho moves in, locks it up with Ari Alexandros, whips him right back to the Hangman's corner, but he's had quite enough of that. Alexandros catches a clothesline. Psycho takes it to his corner, turns it back over to Killer. Alexandros on the outer apron. Hangs up, Killer on the top rope. Alexandros charges, there's a clothesline. The Greek Hustler battling back here. The momentum starting to shift slightly towards Team Euro. There's a hard right. Alexandros follows that up with another. Follows his opponent out onto the apron and smashes him into the cider. Ari Alexandros on the outside. Counter whipped into the ring steps. Ari Alexandros going to take another shot into those steel ring steps. A counter whip and there we go. Turnabout is fair play. Killer whipped into the steel steps not once but twice in total retaliation by the Greek Hustler.
Alexandros gets his opponent back inside the ring. The Greek Hustler moves in, goes for the cover and hooks the leg here. Oh, not even one. Wow. Killer kicked out of that one almost instantaneously. Whipped into the Team Euro corner. Here comes Tibor Bolescu on the tag. A double team incoming. Air-assisted shoulder tackle as the Hungarian Hurricane takes over for his team. Starts raining right hands on the head of Killer. There's a stomp to the midsection. The Hungarian Hurricane quickly countered a couple of hard lefts to the side of the head. Psycho locks it up. Whips Bolescu into his team's corner. There's, a set of wicked shots. Just beating Bolescu down. Follows that up with a headbutt. Absolutely vicious, the Texas Hangman. Bolescu catching boots to the face. Killer rebounds off the ropes, and there's another face wash. Here's another pin attempt. Whoa. But no, again, Bolescu getting the right shoulder up, left shoulder up, off the ropes. A kick right to the side of the head of Bolescu. Killer gathers him up again. Counter whipped into his own team's corner by Bolescu, the Hungarian Hurricane. Whips him to the ropes, rebounds off the other side, and a spinning forearm. And here's a quick pin attempt. 1, 2. What a match we have seen so far here. Bolescu with a hard kick. It is a shame one of these teams is going home tonight. Tibor Bolescu locks it up with Killer. Whipped into the Team Euro corner. There's a kick. Killer going after Ari Alexandros as well, and he's going to nail him with 10 sharp punches to the chest. Tibor Bolescu helpless in the corner, unable to assist. And out goes Ari Alexandros. Bolescu off the rope for the kick to the side of the head of Killer. A set of hard lefts to the head, followed up with a stomp. He goes back in for more. A set of hard right hands, and another stomp to the midsection. Tibor Bolescu, I do believe he's made him mad. He is absolutely relentless. The Hungarian Hurricane really starting to open up here on Killer. Quickly taken down with a fast counter. Bolescu back into the Hangman's corner. Head first into the turnbuckle goes the Hungarian Hurricane. Here's another tag. Bolescu spun out towards center. Oh, this does not look good. We have seen this one before. The Texas Hangman setting it up here on Bolescu. Oh my, that is just gruesome. Here's a pin attempt. Psycho has the pin here. 1, 2. And that is going to do it. The Texas Hangman advancing to the next round.
Here's the time, 10 minutes and 41 seconds. And your winners, the Texas Hangman.
A most unfortunate set of circumstances for Ari Alexandros and Tibor Bolescu, outgunned, outmatched, and outpowered by Killer and Psycho, who are advancing to the next round in this tournament. What an amazing performance from the Texas Hangman.
I gotta admit it, I'm surprised. I really thought it might have, 1, ran a bit longer, and 2, maybe Bolescu and Alexandros would have had a better chance, but like you said, they was outgunned.
And so when we return, more RWL Rage right after this.
Well, agree or not with the outcome, that was still a pretty good match, that last one. But right back to the tournament now. Jim Dandy Deacon and Mid-South champion Billy White Moon facing Chris Wilde and Jeff Fortune. Wild Chris.
The following tournament tag match is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Approaching the ring at a combined weight of 490 pounds from Norman, Oklahoma, RWL Mid-South champion Billy White Moon, and from Abilene, Texas, Jim
Alright, so these two guys definitely earned their spots. They came in during the survival mode, and they took out Team Splendid. And so now, they're getting ready to face Wild Fortune.
And of course, Chris Wilde and Jeff Fortune successfully eliminating the Canadian cartel during the survival mode. And this is how we wound up all the way here.
Tough call picking a winner here. Chris and Jeff, of course, born survivors, former tag champions, but Best of the West can battle just about anybody. So this is totally a gosh, I don't know for sure moment.
Their opponents, at a combined weight of 460 pounds, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Chris Wilde, and from Loch Lomond, Virginia, Jeff Fortune, Wild Fortune.
Over 10 years with the company, 2 championship runs to their credit. Chris Wilde and Jeff Fortune, Wild Fortune, have been long-standing winners, but they are going to be up against it against Best of the West tonight.
I gotta go with Christie on this one. Too tough to call. Both these teams are absolutely fantastic, and it stinks that one of them is going home tonight, getting eliminated.
And once this match is over and we have a winner, we will have our semifinalists for the semifinal round. All right, it'll be Billy White Moon and Jeff Fortune starting things off in this tournament matchup, the last one of the first round. Referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. They come center ring. They lock it up. White Moon whips Fortune to his team's corner, drives a knee into the midsection of Jeff Fortune. White Moon putting the boots to Jeff. A rebound off the ropes and a face wash. Jeff Fortune rolls out towards center. White Moon gathers him back up again, puts him right back in the corner. Here comes Jim Dandy on the tag. Here comes the double team. A hard shot to the midsection to Jeff Fortune as Jim Dandy Deacons takes over. A DDT from Jeff Fortune and an immediate cover. 1, 2. A near fall this early on. Well, now Jim Dandy whipped over the top rope out onto the floor by Jeff Fortune. He may have hit his head. Fortune hangs Billy White Moon up off the top rope and down he goes. Jeff Fortune working the crowd, but here comes Jim Dandy. An elbow right to the top of the skull. Jim Dandy Deacons with a slap across the face. All right. Fortune counters with a hip toss and goes for another pin. 1. Only a 1 this time. Jim Dandy Deacon certainly ready for him on that one. Jeff Fortune. Headlock punch to Jim Dandy. He goes behind on him. Rear waist lock. Sets him up. Tries for the leg sweep, but no good. A clothesline from Jim Dandy Deacons. Deacons rounds up Fortune. Whips him to the Best of the West corner. A boot to the midsection. And another. And a third. Jim Dandy Deacons in control of things at the present time. There's a stomp to the back of the head of Jeff Fortune. Fortune rounded back up again by Deacons. Deacons takes him to the far right corner, instead smashes his head into the turnbuckle. Tries for a scoop slam, but no good. An inverted DDT from Jeff Fortune. Fortune with a measured right to the head of Jim Dandy, followed up with a hard kick to the back. Jeff Fortune opts to take himself out of the equation and turn it over to Chris Wilde. Jim Dandy on the outside. Billy White Moon taken out with a shoulder tackle by Chris. Jim Dandy going after Jeff again on the outside. The referee up already counting. Slam head first into the lip of the apron goes Jeff. As Jim Dandy definitely steps over the ring steps. The referee continuing to count it. Chris Wilde has had quite enough. He steps outside. A hard right, a jab, and a hip toss from Chris. Chris Wilde gathering up Jim Dandy. A hard right to the head. Jeff Fortune just about coming about here. A couple of rights from Chris backs Jim Dandy up towards the barricades. A right, another one spins him around. Fortune is just about coming out now, and there's a headlock punch from Chris Wilde to Jim Dandy Deacons. Deacons being escorted back towards the ring, rolled back inside by Chris. Jim Dandy trying to make the tag here
And he does. Here comes Billy White Moon, the Mid-South champion. A swing and a miss from Chris. A set of rights from White Moon and a headlock takedown from the Choctaw Chopper. Wrenching away at the head of Jeff Fortune. Oh, nasty double axe handle right to the chest. Followed up with a stomp to the back of the head. A rebound off the ropes from White Moon. Misses the kick. Chris Wilde stepping out of the way just in time. White Moon whipped to the ropes. Oh, what a beautiful arm drag. A running kick to the face to White Moon. Chris covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2. Only a 2. Billy White Moon catches a shot to the back of the head, trying to get himself stood back up again. Counters with a shot to the midsection to Chris Wilde. A chop across the throat, but another hip toss from Chris Wilde. Chris raining hard right hands on the head of Billy White Moon and turns it over to Jeff Fortune. The ref seeing the tag. White Moon laid out near his corner. Quickly back up on his feet, locks it up with Jeff, puts him back into the corner, and here comes Jim Dandy one more time. Deacons and White Moon whip Fortune to the ropes, back body drop as Jim Dandy takes over for Best of the West. Double boot scrape across the sides of the face of Jeff Fortune, and he does it again. Jim Dandy Deacons lays in a fist drop on Jeff Fortune. Fortune gathered up again, locked up, escorted towards the ropes. Deacons leaves him parked right there and turns it over to Billy White Moon. Chris Wilde still hanging off that rope. Whoa, well now, Chris Wilde might have been playing possum. Pulled the rope down and out went Billy White Moon. Chris Wilde going after Jim Dandy again, tags him with a right. White Moon back inside the ring, locks it up with Jeff Fortune. Whips him to the corner. White Moon quickly countered by Jeff. Jeff locks him up. White Moon escorted to the opposing corner, head first into the turnbuckle goes White Moon. Jeff Fortune smashes his head into the turnbuckle a second time. Jeff Fortune with a series of machine gun chops across the chest of Billy White Moon. Down he goes. Jeff Fortune turns it over to Chris Wilde again. Both teams working very efficiently. Slam double axe handle to the head of White Moon. Chris Wilde locks it up with White Moon again. Spinning neckbreaker. Jeff Fortune watching as his partner works here. Gets the leg swept by Billy White Moon. White Moon off the ropes. A flying punch takes Chris Wilde down to the mat. A kick to the face from Billy White Moon. Chris whipped to the ropes. White Moon ducks under. Tries for the belly-to-belly suplex, but catches an elbow to the head and a flying crossbody from Chris Wilde. Chris flips White Moon over. Drops an elbow on the leg. The Mid-South champion on the defensive at the present time. Counters with a shot to the head of Chris. Chris goes behind another rear waist lock. Sets him up and nails him with a knee breaker. Chris tags in Jeff Fortune. White Moon making his way to the corner. Best of the West, here we go. Jim Dandy Deacons comes in on the tag. Taken down with another crossbody by Jeff Fortune. Fortune rounds him up hard, right hand to the head of Jim Dandy. A kick to the back. Jeff Fortune firmly in control at the present time. The momentum has shifted back and forth quite a bit already. Fortune whips Deacons to his team's corner. Deacons counters with an elbow and a headbutt. Takes Jeff Fortune down to the mat. White Moon comes in again. White Moon catches a back body drop from Jeff. Another cover, another hook of the leg. 1. Only a 1 this time. Jeff Fortune with a right to the head of White Moon. Locks him up. Takes him up. And, sidewalk slam. And Billy White Moon certainly felt that one. Followed up with a hard kick to the back. Jeff Fortune gathers White Moon up again, the Mid-South champion. Whip to the Wild Fortune's corner. Counters with an elbow, finds his way out. Jeff Fortune with a hip toss to White Moon.
Chris Wilde comes in again. White Moon laid out center ring as Chris moves in. Gathers White Moon back up. White Moon whipped to the ropes. A shoulder tackle from Chris. Chris Wilde starting to feel it now. Rounds White Moon back up for another shot. Gets a hold of the trunks, has him up. Vertical suplex from Chris Wilde. Wilde gathers up White Moon again. Sets him up for another. Oh! Slammed him face first into the canvas. Chris Wilde steps out, steps back in for a reset. White Moon still stunned. Jawbreaker takes him down. So far, the action in this one's been frenetic. A hard right takes White Moon down again. Chris Wilde makes his way to the top turnbuckle. Here he goes, drops the leg across the throat of White Moon, goes for the cover and hooks the leg. 1, 2. Jim Dandy right there to break it up. Chris Wilde catches a jawbreaker from Billy White Moon. White Moon locks up Chris, whips him into the best of the West corner. Here comes Jim Dandy Deacons again. And another tandem shot to the ribs. Jim Dandy scoop slams. Chris Wilde drops the elbow across the chest. Goes for the cover and hooks the leg here, but Jeff Fortune right there to break it up before even the count of 1. Jim Dandy Deacons rounds Chris Wilde up, puts him in the best of the West corner. Chris Wilde counters, putting Jim Dandy into his own corner, up on the middle ropes. And Chris Wilde starting to rain right hands on the head of Jim Dandy. Jim Dandy quickly countering and getting himself out of that situation. Chris right back into that corner again. He's had enough of it. Jim Dandy, here, use your own corner. Hung up off the ropes, down goes White Moon. Jim Dandy finds his way out of the corner, but Chris Wilde right there. Vertical suplex from Chris. And a series of stomps to the chest. And out to the floor rolls Jim Dandy Deacons over the top. Holy old hell. Well now, flying crossbody over the top rope. High-risk maneuver paying dividends for Chris Wilde here, as both members of Best of the West are at a huge disadvantage. Chris with a stomp to the face of Jim Dandy Deacons, and again a series of short staccato stomps to the chest from Chris Wilde. He is really laying in to Jim Dandy on the outside. Referee still continuing the count. He's going to go after White Moon as well. Billy White Moon hurled towards the barricades. Jim Dandy Deacons rolls Chris back inside the ring. Steps in himself. Kick to the midsection. A right from Chris. And another spinning neckbreaker to Jim Dandy. Chris turns it over to Jeff Fortune. Fortune making his way towards Deacons. Misses with the right. Jim Dandy back up on his feet. Locks up Jeff. Puts him back in the Best of the West corner. With the leg over the rope, a kick to the calf from Jim Dandy. Jeff counters Dandy. Gets a hold on him, whips him towards the ropes. Ducks under, and delivers an elbow to the face of Jim Dandy Deacons as Chris Wilde takes over for Wild Fortune. Deacons, avoiding the drop kick of Chris Wilde, delivers a headbutt. And Jim Dandy Deacons is indeed busted open as Billy White Moon comes in on the tag. Another running crossbody from Chris Wilde takes White Moon down to the mat. White Moon rounded up by Chris again. Up over the shoulder into a scoop slam as Jeff Fortune comes in and takes over. White Moon laid out near his own corner. Here comes Jeff Fortune. White Moon back up on his feet, a running shoulder. Taking Jeff Fortune down. Here's a cover center ring. 1, 2. Jeff Fortune getting the right shoulder up. White Moon misses with the clothesline, winds up catching a headlock punch from Jeff Fortune. Jeff Fortune goes behind on White Moon. White Moon with an amazing counter. Fortune whipped back into the Best of the West corner. And what a match it has been so far. White Moon driving knees into the midsection of Jeff Fortune. And now putting the boots to him. Putting all of his weight into the chest of Jeff Fortune. Handstand off the ropes and both knees into the chest. Billy White Moon, the Mid-South champion, covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2.
But again, no. Jeff Fortune still in the game here. Billy White Moon rallying the fans here in Nashville. And he is having himself a pretty good time right about now. Jeff Fortune tags in Chris Wilde. Billy White Moon rounded up front cradle by Chris, slammed into the turnbuckle and pitched out towards center ring. Jim Dandy tags him with a cheap shot. Chris with a stomp to the shoulder and another set of stomps to the chest of Billy White Moon. Chris Wilde getting ready to go air here. Off the top, misses with the leg drop. White Moon getting out of the way just in time. Billy White Moon with a right to Chris Wilde into a sleeper hold, the Indian sleeper. This could be it right here. Chris Wilde struggling to find his way out of the hold, and he sure as hell does. Wow, that was amazing. White Moon back up on his feet, running spear. Takes down Chris Wilde, and here's another pin attempt. One. Jeff Fortune immediately breaking up the pin. White Moon debates whether to go after Jeff, changes his mind. Goes after Chris Wilde on the... Whoa, did you see that? What a kick. A rope-assisted beauty right there from Billy White Moon. Chris Wilde counters with a kick. A hard right takes White Moon down to the mat. And in comes Jeff Fortune again. This match about 3/4 of the way through and still no signs of a winner. Billy White Moon with a hold on Jeff Fortune. Oh, a double ear clap. Jeff Fortune countering with elbows to the head of White Moon. A jab to the midsection. Jeff gathers him up into a sidewalk slam. Billy White Moon in trouble here as Jeff goes for another pin. 1, 2. Another near fall with less than 5 minutes to go. Another stomp to the shoulder of Billy White Moon from Jeff Fortune as he tags in Chris Wilde again. And the momentum has finally shifted over towards Wild Fortune here. Chris Wilde moves in on White Moon in the corner. Whoa! Hard right. White Moon in a seated position. Chris gets him by the ankles, alley-oops him out of the corner. Chris biting the hand of Billy White Moon. Desperation maneuver there. 1, 2, and yet another near fall. And time is definitely running out. Chris on the middle rope drops the leg across the throat of Billy White Moon. And wisely going in for another pin attempt. 1. Wow, Jim Dandy Deacons breaking that one up abruptly. Chris all the way up on the top again. He's going to go air one more time. Misses with the elbow drop. Billy White Moon getting out of the way just in time. White Moon with a boot to the face of Chris Wilde as he turns it over to Jim Dandy Deacons. Deacons charges, running boot, catches Chris, but just slightly. Chris whips Deacons to the ropes, makes the duck under, makes the leapfrog. Here comes Jim Dandy. Chris winds up the arm. Jim Dandy counters with a shot, a kick to the midsection, and a set of elbows to the dome. Oh, down goes Chris. Here's another pin. No good. Jeff Fortune immediately breaking that one up. Oh, look at this. Jim Dandy Deacons. A little bit of line dancing. Chris Wilde whipped back into the best of the West corner. Counters with an elbow. Finds his way out. Gets a hold of Jim Dandy. Counter whips him to his team's corner. Here comes Chris Wilde. Another hard shot across the chest of Jim Dandy Deacons. Another grab of the ankles and another alley-oop out of the corner, this time to Jim Dandy. Chris Wilde biting his hand as well. How about this? Chris Wilde covers. 1, 2. And yet another near fall in this frenetically paced matchup. Chris Wilde locks up Jim Dandy, whips him to the Wild Fortune corner. Takes himself up to the middle rope and starts raining right hands on the head of Jim Dandy Deacons. And Deacons looks like he's not going to be able to find his way out of this. A set of hard shots right to the skull. And down goes Jim Dandy Deacons. A quick counter from Jim Dandy. How about this right here? Back on his feet, gets a hold of Chris Wilde. whips him back into the Best of the West corner. And with less than 2 minutes to go, something's got to give. Right hands to the head from Jim Dandy Deacons. In retaliation, Chris Wilde shoves his way out of the corner. Gets a hold on Jim Dandy, tags him with a measured right, takes him down to the canvas. Less than a minute and a half to go here, Matt. Jeff Fortune comes in on the tag. Jim Dandy rolls out of the way, delivers a clothesline to Jeff. Jeff makes his way to a standing position against the ropes. Deacons opting to leave and turn it over to Billy Whitemoon with less than a minute to go. We may see a time limit draw here, and we may have to do this match all over again. Hard shot to the midsection to Jeff Fortune from Whitemoon. Whitemoon with a clothesline that sends Jeff Fortune spinning. Whitemoon gathers Jeff up again, whips him into the Wild Fortune corner. Here comes Jim Dandy Deacons one more time, just about a half a minute to go. And a beautiful tandem move right there. Followed up with a senton from Jim Dandy. Here's another cover, but Chris Wilde right there to save his partner. Jim Dandy Deacons with less than 30 seconds remaining. What is going to happen here? Deacons all the way on the top. He goes air elbow across the chest of Chris Wilde. He covers and hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. I don't believe it. With less than 10 seconds to go, Best of the West wins.
Here's the time, 19 minutes and 50 seconds. And your winners, Best of the
Well,
West.
this has got to be the pot boiler of the evening. Best of the West picking up the win over Wild Fortune with just 10 seconds to go. Absolutely amazing. What a conclusion to the first round of this TV tag tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, when we return, our main event, which will feature Rhonda Singh and Timeless Toni Storm in just a moment. The tag team tournament will continue on Snarl. However, tonight's main event, an interesting one for certain, Rhonda Singh set to lock it up against Timeless Toni Storm. What a main event that's going to be.
Tonight's Rage main event is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Coming down the aisle from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Rhonda Singh.
Well, this one comes as a little bit of a surprise. We haven't seen Rhonda Singh in about 7 months. But here she comes, getting ready to face Timeless Toni Storm. I think maybe the temptation was just too great. I think you're quite possibly correct. Rhonda Singh, of course, has done singles and tag teams with Bull Nakano. But she's in a single match tonight against the Timeless one. And Timeless Toni Storm sees this one as a tune-up match to her upcoming Japan 5-Star Women's Championship match with Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote at Holiday Road. Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Danielle won her last match against ODB, so that was her tune-up match. Let's see if this main event might give us a little hint of what we might see at Holiday Road. That's a rematch I've got to see. A lot of fans were kind of bummed at the time limit draw between them at Black Friday last month.
There's got to be a winner in this one. I understand it's probably going to be a 20-minute time limit, but we'll have to wait and see.
And her opponent from the Gold Coast of Australia, here is Timeless Toni Storm.
I gotta tell you, I am so happy that Toni Storm has decided to participate here in RWL. It's terrific. She's an awesome performer. And well, I'm looking forward to Holiday Road myself, Christy. Like we said before, there's just gotta be a winner this time. And with the Japan 5-Star Women's title on the line, I know that's not what she was hoping for. She wanted that Joyce Grable title. I understand that. But Danielle made her choice. It is what it is. We'll just have to see what happens at Holiday Road. But right now, it's all about Toni Storm and Rhonda Singh. And as the strains of Max Steiner's famous composition Tara's theme from Gone with the Wind swell to a crescendo, Timeless Toni Storm
giving the fans here in Nashville one hell of a show.
She really is some piece of work, ain't she?
You said it, Bubby.
Not surprised to see Rhonda sing back. The presence of Toni Storm has brought out all sorts of ladies legends around here. Walt Rothburn sounds the bell, they come center ring. Rhonda Singh opens up with a right and a left arm. Toni Storm follows up with a headbutt, taking her down to the mat. Singh, look at the power on this one. Military press on Toni Storm and drops her like a bad habit. Rhonda Singh, this is with the stomp, locks up Toni Storm again. As her ultra sidewalk slam. And Toni Storm having her share of problems in the early goings here. Front quarter from Rhonda Singh on Toni Storm, back into the corner, smashes the side into the turnbuckle and hurls her towards center ring. A stomp to the midsection. A stomp to the shoulder. Rhonda Singh firmly in control. Toni Storm counters with a kick to the head. A double boot stomp to the midsection. A kick to the chest. Misses with the other double boot stomp. Rhonda Singh charges, catches a kick, up top, another shot, spinning up forearm. And just like that, Toni Storm turning this thing around pretty quickly. All the way up on the top turnbuckle, Toni Storm getting ready to go air on Rhonda Singh. And here it comes. Misses with the wrist drop. Rhonda Singh rolls her right over and goes for a pin. 1, 2. A pretty near fall early on. Rhonda Singh gathers up Toni Storm. Toni puts on the brakes, delivers a knee to the midsection, a forearm to the face of Rhonda Singh. Singh, whip to the far right corner. Ooh, a running shoulder into the midsection. And now a foot to the throat of Rhonda Singh from timeless. Toni Storm trying to turn this one around after being at a disadvantage in the early going. Rhonda Singh rolls out to the floor. Toni Storm rolling out right after her, steps over the ring steps. Rhonda Singh momentarily stunned, snaps out of it. Toni Storm locked up by Rhonda Singh. He's got her up and this spinebuster, a fly swatter style spinebuster. Rhonda Singh drives the knee of Toni Storm into the floor. The referee counting. They lock up. Toni Storm with the upper hand gets a hold on Rhonda Singh and rolls her back inside the ring. Rhonda rolls back to a standing position. Toni Storm right there locks her up. Slams her head down to the mat. And that's Toni Storm with a hard right to the head of Rhonda Singh. Rhonda being escorted towards the ropes again by the timeless one. Toni Storm rebounds her off the ropes with shots to the back. Goes behind on her, rear waist lock, another shot to the back, a whip to the ropes to Rhonda Singh. Toni Storm ducks under, leapfrogs, here comes, beautiful arm drag from timeless Toni Storm, a stomp to the midsection to Rhonda Singh. Now into an arm bar. Referee checking it out, Rhonda Singh rolls right out of it, drives a knee into the head of timeless Toni Storm. Rhonda Singh whips Storm almost into the referee, goes behind on her. Rhonda has her up over the shoulders. Diamond Scully walks her to the corner. Drives her head into the turnbuckle. Allowing gravity to do the work. There's a knee to the midsection from Toni Storm. Quickly back up on her feet. Backs up Rhonda Singh. Looks her to the far left corner. A chop across the chest. Toni Storm. Look at this. What a beautiful counter from Toni Storm. Rebounds off the ropes. Rhonda Singh misses. Catches an elbow that takes her down hard. Timeless Toni Storm. Wow. Here's a pin. A cover and a hook on the leg. 1, 2, 3. And there you have it. Timeless Toni Storm picking up a pretty quick win over Rhonda Singh. Let's get the official time.
Here's the time, 3 minutes and 46 seconds. And your winner, Timeless Toni Storm.
I'm sure if Tex were here, he'd be screaming the characteristic, she didn't even go 5, baby, she didn't even go 5. Timeless Toni Storm. Wrapping this one up pretty quickly and snatching a victory away from the jaws of defeat from Rhonda Singh. What a spectacular finish to this one. There's that elbow that took Rhonda Singh down to the canvas and led to the 3-count pinfall. And who knows what's going to happen when Toni Storm meets Liberty Bell, Danielle Heathcote, and Holiday Wilson. That is going to do it for this this week's edition of RWL Rage. As always, we thank all of you for joining us and for supporting RWL Wrestling as we do. It is appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll return on the Christmas Eve with RWL Holiday Road and 2 hours special with Snarl coming this Saturday. For all of us here at RWL, I've been Don Hickman. Thanks, good night, and we'll see you next time at ringside. Good night, everybody.